So I'm here at the Degrowth conference in Montreal, and I'm here with Julio Torres from Cuba. And Julio, could you tell me a little bit about the work you do with Cuba Solar?
Well, precisely, I work now since a year and a half with Cuba Solar, a Cuban NGO created in 1994 in order to promote renewable energy systems, energy sources, and environmental respect. We are working very hard in trying to supply electricity for the rural zone, our rural zone, our mountainous zone, and the people who live there. We are not connected to the electro-energetic system in Cuba. This system supplies more than 98% of population now, but it didn't exist in 1959 when the revolution took the power. It was created in the first 15-20 years with the help and support from Soviet Union and from Czechoslovakia in technology and mainly in oil. All our oil in that moment came from Soviet Union because United States, which was our first supplier, cut our supply of oil, trying to destroy revolution and destroy the country. Soviet Union helped us, supplied all the oil we need and all the materials, minerals, etc., technology we need in order to develop our country. This was possible because we signed an trade and economic and financial treatment that allow us to develop, to survive in front of United States government aggressions.
So now, how much of your energy, where are the sources of electrical energy in Cuba now?
Well, in this moment, more than 95% of our electricity is produced with oil. A great part of this oil is producing in our own country. It's our oil, but we need to import some quantities, and this we are trying to diminish these importations. And at the same time, we are trying to generate our electricity with biomass, mainly from sugar cane. This is our first renewable energy source in Cuba, but it needs a technological transformation. It needs a great investment in that field.
What kinds of technologies and what kind of projects are you working on with Cuba Solar?
Well, we as Cuba Solar, we are not technology producers. We are only a mean to link external finances with the country needs and administrate and execute those projects in the practice. And very little part of this financial help we use in order to live. Cuba Solar live from this very little. Cuba Solar is not a profit institution, and we don't sell technology. We try to develop prototypes, develop pequeñas series, a small series of the prototypes, and in order to the industry of the country could produce them in great quantities. This is our position. This is our work. This is our work.
So you're getting right now. You're making prototypes by buying cells and then assembling the modules by hand.
Yes, we have an industry in our western part of the country, in Pinar del Rio, which is the electronic complex Ernesto Che Guevara. There we import the cells for photovoltaics and assembling there the panels with some materials, some imported materials, and in some instances we are substituting this imported with our own materials. But the assembling is there.
Yeah.
We are trying also to produce our own cells, because this is the most important part in the panels and the most costly of them. So if we could produce our cells, we could diminish strongly the price of our panels, and this would be very good for our schools, for our people, for everybody in Cuba.
What's the potential for, what's the resource, renewable resources in Cuba? What's the potential for supplying Cuba with its energy from renewables?
We have three mainly sources of energy that are renewable in a sense. The first one is the efficiency. To be more efficient managing or administering the energy sources is our first source. The second one is our sugarcane industry, because bagasse and leaves of the cane, of the sugar canes, are a very good fuel in order to produce electricity. Only we need to modernize and transform the technology in the sugar mills, because they were conceived in with other proposals. They were conceived to supply the industry mainly heat in order to manufacture sugar. And electricity was a very little quantity for the own needs of the sugar mill. If we transform that, we could produce many electricity from the same bagasse and leaves of the cane, and this electricity could be exported regionally. We have in Cuba now 60 sugar mills. They are distributed in all the provinces. So if we produce enough electricity in each of these sugar mills, we could be able to substitute the actual electroenergetic system with a new system based on biomass instead of oil, which is now.
And solar?
And solar photovoltaics could help to do that, and wind energy, electroenergy could help in order to do that also, and biogas could help also in the communities, in the rural communities of our country. So we have enough renewable sources in order to produce all the energy we need in the country for its developing.
And you have an industry around solar hot water as well, right?
Oh, I didn't spoke about heat, because a little we accept the idea that it is very possible to produce all our heated water with solar energy. It's for us so clear the idea that in some instances we forgot to speak about that. You are very clever. We need to do that, but we have in the country possibilities to do that. We have an industry devoted to produce solar heaters, but we think that we need much more industries in this field, because we have in Cuba more than 4.5 million homes, and every home must have a solar heater. In Cuba, the solar radiation is about 5 kilowatt hours per square meter yearly. So every family could heat their water, and not only for bathing, but also for cooking, also for dishing. It is very simple to do that. Only we need some money investing in this field.
What do you think about what is this conference is about degrowth? What does that mean in Cuba? What's degrowth?
Well, for us, degrowth is degrowing in oil consumption. Is degrowing in greenhouse gases emissions. Is degrowing in some illnesses we have there. Although we have made a very hard work in our health system, but some problems are there, and we need to degrow them also. We need to degrow the impact of hurricanes in the country. We have a very good warning system for helping the people and to evacuate people from dangerous places. But once in a while, someone ignores these measures and is dead by a hurricane. We need to degrow that to zero. As as carbon emissions that could be also be degrowed to zero.
Is there a lot of interest in sustainability and environmental matters in Cuba, amongst the public? That's something that's of concern?
Yes. This is not only a public concern, but a government concern also. Government is working in this line. We have many specialists in the country working with IPCC, working in those climate change themes. I am one of them also. In the country, 12 people receive it. I am one of them also. The proof of the Nobel Peace Prize that was awarded to IPCC and Albert Gore in 2007.
Yeah, so you're part
I'm one of these people. But 12 people in the country received that and are working very hard in that field because we are convinced that this is a very dangerous problem. Our Commander-in-Chief, Fidel Castro, 20 years ago in the Earth Summit, spoke about that and told that there is a species, an important biological species that is in danger of extinction because its life conditions are systematically destroyed. This is the man. Almost nobody heard that, and almost nobody took measures for impede that, for allow the man to be preserved, to survive. But 20 years after, in next June, it will be again considered that type of statement because our Commander-in-Chief is convinced that man is menaced by two great hurdles. One of them is nuclear war, and the other one is climate change. And both must be prevented, must be not allowed. And we have possibilities to do that if we join our force, all the humanity, all the humankind, and we work very hard in that direction. We are convinced of that.
Thank you, Julio Torres. Appreciate it. Thanks for all the great work you do.